I'm married. I have had just an anniversary just passed. Yes. Married, anniversary to my husband. I have a husband. Yes. And whenever fans see us, they always come up to us and go, "Hey, you're Modi, and you're his gay husband." And they say it as if I'm not gay. But I happen to have a gay husband. People have asked, is Modi gay? I don't know, but his husband is. Yeah. I was told I don't give off a gay vibe. Yeah. Leo and I live in Manhattan in a big building with 1 million people and a lot of gossip. And the woman that's in charge of all the gossip lives on our floor. I'm not going to mention her name. Sharon Berkowitz. Yeah. 9F, right when you make the turn. 2 months ago, she corners me in the elevator and says, I don't know if you've heard, but the lawyer that bought the apartment above yours is a homosexual. I said, Sharon, you're kidding. I've been sleeping with him all this time. I had no idea he's a lawyer. Fans are very supportive and have lots of advice for us. Lots of advice. Yep. You guys are so cute. Oh my God. You guys should have a baby. We can't. Did you miss that class in junior high school? No, there's ways. With a surrogate for only $220,000, you can try. It doesn't always work. It doesn't always take. Leo and I took $220,000 and redid all the bathrooms in our Connecticut home. Yes. And they all work. Yes, they took 7 weeks. But now we have the heated floors and the steam shower. Lots of joy we have from this. Yeah. Lots of advice they have for us. You guys should rescue a dog. We rescued a Porsche. Yeah. It was in a car lot of the dealership. It's all alone. There's almost a year old. Couldn't just leave it there. Leo fell in love with it. Now Leo brings it everywhere, so it's a win-win. Yeah, yes. My husband is younger.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome back. Today we are talking about a comedian you need to know. His name is Modi, and he just made his debut on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, and honestly, I have not laughed this hard at a stand-up set in a long time. Modi is headlining Radio City Music Hall, which is a huge deal, and after watching this 5-minute set, I completely understand why. He is sharp, he is quick, and he has this incredible ability to take everyday situations and turn them into absolute gold. Let me break down the best moments from his set because there is a lot to unpack here. Modi starts by talking about how happy he is to be back in America after finishing the European leg of his tour. And he makes this brilliant observation about the English language. He says, "Do you know how lucky we are that this is what we speak? There is zero effort in speaking English. You breathe in, you breathe out, you put some words, and you're done." Then he contrasts that with other languages. He talks about Holland where they speak Dutch and says they have to engage their core and suck air in through their ears. He does this hilarious fake Dutch gibberish that sounds like someone speaking Yiddish and having a stroke. Then he moves to French and says even the French give up in the middle of speaking their own language. It is such a simple observation, but his delivery makes it perfect. Then Modi gets into the really good stuff. He talks about being married. He just had an anniversary. And he says, "Marriage anniversary to my husband. I have a husband." And the audience cheers. But then he makes this great joke about how whenever fans see him and his husband Leo, they say, "Hey, you're Modi and you're his gay husband." And Modi points out that they say it as if he is not gay but just happens to have a gay husband. He says people have asked, "Is Modi gay?" And his answer is, "I don't know, but his husband is." That is such a smart way to handle that question. He is acknowledging the assumption people make without getting defensive or preachy. He just turns it into a joke. Then he tells this incredible story about a neighbor in his Manhattan building. He lives in a big building with a lot of gossip, and the woman in charge of all the gossip lives on his floor. He says he is not going to mention her name, and then immediately says, "Sharon Berkowitz, 9F, right when you make the turn." The audience loses it. He says 2 months ago, Sharon cornered him in the elevator and said, "I don't know if you've heard, but the lawyer that bought the apartment above yours is a homosexual." And Modi's response is perfect. He says, "Sharon, you're kidding. I've been sleeping with him all this time. I had no idea he's a lawyer." That is such a great punchline because it completely flips the script. Sharon thinks she is sharing scandalous gossip about someone's sexuality, and Modi reveals that he is literally in a relationship with that person. But the surprising part is the guy's job. It is so well constructed. Then Modi talks about how fans are very supportive and have lots of advice for him and Leo. Lots of advice. He says people come up to them and say, "You guys are so cute. You guys should have a baby." And Modi just looks at the audience and says, "We can't. Did you miss that class in junior high school?" That is a brutal but hilarious response. But the fans do not give up. They say, "No, there's ways. With a surrogate. For only $220,000, you can try. It doesn't always work. It doesn't always take." And Modi reveals that he and Leo took that $220,000 and redid all the bathrooms in their Connecticut home. And he says with so much satisfaction, "And they all work." Yes, they all took. They took 7 weeks. But now we have the heated floors and the steam shower. Lots of joy we have from this. The contrast between spending $220,000 on a chance at a baby that might not work and spending the same money on guaranteed heated floors and a steam shower is hilarious and also weirdly logical. Then he moves to the next piece of advice. People say, "You guys should rescue a dog." And Modi says, "We rescued a Porsche. It was in a car lot of the dealership. It was all alone there. It was almost a year old. Couldn't just leave it there." Leo fell in love with it, and now Leo brings it everywhere. So it is a win-win. That is such a ridiculous twist on the idea of rescuing an animal. Instead of a shelter dog, they rescued a luxury car. And the way He delivers it so seriously makes it even funnier. Finally, Modi talks about the generational differences between him and his husband. He says Leo is 10, 12 years younger, then corrects himself and says 22 years younger. He says, "Yes, he's a millennial." And he points out that millennials do not wear watches. He has worn a watch since he was 13 years old. But this past summer on the beach, he sees Leo wearing a black watch. He asks Leo what time it is, and Leo says, "It doesn't tell you the time." Modi is confused. "Your watch doesn't tell you the time." Leo says, "It's not a watch. It's a Whoop." Modi asks, "Well, what does your Whoop tell you?" And Leo says, "It tells me how I'm doing. How I'm actually doing." And Modi delivers the perfect closing line. He says, "I look at my wrist, I see a gold Rolex. I know I'm doing good. And I also know what time it is." That is such a clean, smart way to end the set. It sums up the entire generational divide in one joke. Older generation cares about status and practicality. Younger generation cares about tracking their biometric data and optimizing their performance. And neither side understands the other. What I love about Modi is that he is not angry or bitter in his comedy. He is not complaining about his husband or about the fans who give him unsolicited advice. He is just observing the absurdity of it all and inviting us to laugh with him. He is also refreshingly honest about his life. He is a gay man married to a younger man, Liv. In Manhattan with a house in Connecticut, driving a Porsche, wearing a Rolex, and redoing his bathrooms instead of having a baby. He is not trying to be relatable in a fake way. He is just telling his truth and trusting that the humor will come through. And it does. It really does. So here is my question to you in the comments. Have you ever gotten unsolicited advice from strangers about major life decisions like having kids or getting a pet? And what is your take on the watch versus Whoop debate? Do you need to know what time it is, or do you need to know how you are doing? Let me know your thoughts. I read every single comment. As always, like, subscribe, hit that bell. We are building something special here. I will see you in the next one.